Are you new to manifestation and want to know how it's done, or you're revisiting it and need a booster? Well, my name's Kalia, and I'm going to tell you in this video how to manifest. So the basics of manifestation comes from your thoughts, your beliefs, and your feelings. So, what we are entertaining on a daily basis in the realm of thought, belief, and feelings influence directly what we create in our life. So, if you are constantly thinking thoughts of failure, lack, limitation, and this is the predominant thought process that you have in your day, then this is what you're going to get more of because you're entertaining and focusing on your lack, your limitation, your failures, and that plants a seed into the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is really the dynamo that directs our energy. It's really that creative potential that is made manifest in your physical reality. So let's look at it this way. You take the conscious thoughts and beliefs and even the feelings that back them up, the emotions, and they become the seeds that you're planting in your subconscious. So think of it as planting a garden. What are you planting in that garden? Are you planting lack, limitation, failure? Or are you planting abundance and success, great health, great relationships? So, what seeds that you're planting directly affect what is being manifested in your reality? And so, on a conscious level, that's the part of our mind that we are aware of. We have to be mindful of what we're planting on a daily basis because when it comes to manifestation, what's going on the level of the conscious mind directly affects the seeds that are being planted in that subconscious. Therefore, you've got to develop a practice of being mindful, which is the same thing as being watchful. It's the same thing as being kind of hyper vigilant when it comes to watching what thoughts are going on. And this is really a practice because even now I can get lost in some reverie of thought or imagination and not even realize I'm there until it's like, wow, look at where my mind has been. And that's what mindfulness is. It's the ability to catch yourself in an imaginal act, in a reverie, in a thought process, and then be able to examine it and say, well, what am I creating with that imaginal experience, with that reverie, with that thought process? What am I really creating? And as we become more conscious of where our thoughts are on a daily basis, we can start to take charge of the thought processes. And this is where we become conscious creators of our reality, is when we take charge of the thought processes, when we take charge of our belief system by looking at our beliefs. We often call those beliefs that are sabotaging us limiting beliefs or limiting core beliefs. Limiting core beliefs are the beliefs that were formed in childhood. They're the foundation of your life, and they really do influence what's showing up now. So as we become aware of what we really believe, say about money or about relationships or about health, you might have a belief that you have to work really hard for money, or you might have a belief that relationships are really hard to come by. It's hard to find the right person. Dieting is hard if you're interested in being healthy, fit. So we have these core beliefs that aren't serving us, because if that's at the root of what you are creating in your life, is a core belief that, say it's money, core belief that it's really hard to make money, or I have to work really hard. to make money, then you're not going to accept money coming to you any other way. It's always going to be hard because this is your belief system. Therefore, this is the seed that you're planting in the subconscious. Now, the conscious mind is like the master, where the subconscious mind is the servant. Therefore, the conscious mind is what tells the subconscious what to do. And the subconscious mind does what it's instructed to do. So if you're planting a seed in your garden, that subconscious mind will take whatever seed you're giving it and grow it to fruition, bring it into your physical reality. Your subconscious mind is here to serve you. And if you're not aware of that dance between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, you are going to be creating your reality from default. So what you're conditioned to think, feel, and believe is the default. And that's why so many people have a hard time changing the circumstances of their life, because they are creating their life from default. They just keep planting the same seeds over and over and over, day in, day out. So if they want to see a different reality, they've got to take charge of what seeds are being planted. And so the conscious mind, you have to become aware consciously. I need to be mindful of my thoughts. I need to be mindful of my beliefs and consciously plant the seeds into the subconscious, the seeds that I want to plant. So it's not really a magical process. It can feel magical at times, but it's not really a magical process. It's really a scientific process. If we go all the way back to 1988, when I became a clinical hypnotherapist, this was part of the science of why hypnotherapy is effective, because we're able to go into the subconscious mind and change the programming, like plant new seeds, get rid of the old seeds, the ones that aren't working, and plant new seeds of what you really want to create in your life. So if you have a garden bed full of weeds, you want to pull the weeds and plant your kale and your spinach and whatever it is that you want to grow. So you start taking charge of that. And once you plant those seeds, you're not going to go digging them up every day to see if they're growing. So this is where trust comes in. But you really have to trust the process, that what you consciously plant in your subconscious is what will grow. So trusting that if you take charge of what you're planting, it will grow, but there's a gestation period. So when you plant that seed in the earth, let's say that kale seed, for example, you plant it in the fertile soil, you can expect that it's going to grow, that at some point you're going to see a shoot coming up through the earth. And that's evidence that your kale is coming up. It's a little harder to see the evidence when we're talking about subconscious manifestation, because we don't have shoots that pop up from the earth. It's more that we can start seeing a change in our consciousness. And then in a period of time, we see a change in our physical reality. But we have to trust that what we're planting from the conscious down into the subconscious is what's going to bear fruit in the future. What you are seeing today in your life is a result of the seeds you planted in the past. And if you want a different reality tomorrow, then you have to plant different seeds today. And this is really what manifestation is. It's taking charge of your relationship between the conscious and the subconscious mind by becoming mindful of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that are what influence the subconscious mind. Another thing that influences the subconscious mind is what you are imagining. The imagination is really powerful. It's kind of the fertile soil of the subconscious. So, what goes into your imagination is really effective in what you're creating. So if you can imagine good things in your life, if you can imagine that you're already successful, you're painting a picture, because the subconscious mind works with pictures and images and feelings. And so if you paint a picture in your imagination, your subconscious is responding to the images that you're giving it. So if you see yourself in your new house, or you see yourself having a successful business, or you see yourself at your perfect ideal size and shape, or you see yourself in relationship with that perfect person for you, then if you keep entertaining that imaginal state, if you keep entertaining what you are seeing on a daily basis, it's like you're watering that seed that you've planted. You're giving it, you're continuing to trust in the process. You're feeding it, you're watering it, and you're trusting that it will push through the earth, that you will see the results. So this is how it works. It's not a magical process. It's more of the science of the relationship between the conscious and the subconscious mind. So people who go way down to hit their bottom in life, they get there as a result of what's going on in their mind, what they're entertaining. So somebody who becomes a raging alcoholic, for example, it begins with negativity, having a lot of negative thoughts, having a lot of stress in the life, a lot of unresolved issues that they're not working through. And then they have a interpretation of all those events that's usually pretty negative. Nothing works out for me. My life is horrible. I'm not happy. I'm going to drink more. I shouldn't be drinking. So then there's guilt, and guilt asks for punishment. So whenever we have guilt in our consciousness, we seek out punishment on a subconscious level. I should be punished. I'm guilty. So, that person will drink more, and then they'll start to lose control of their ability to be functional in their job or their family, and they may lose both and go further down and further down. And it's all what's happening in the relationship between the conscious and the subconscious mind. Now, the same thing can happen for the opposite in becoming super successful, is if you start entertaining different thoughts and ideas, and you stay mindful and you're watching what's going into the subconscious mind to the best of your ability. You don't have to be perfect at it, but you do have to start shifting in that direction on a daily basis. Plant good seed. You'll always hear me talk about planting good seed. Plant good seeds so that you'll have a good crop, so that what outpictures tomorrow as a result of what you're doing today is what you want it to be, and not the default of what you're doing today. So manifestation is really about becoming conscious of the seeds that you're planting in your subconscious and starting to take charge of that process. And it's like building a new muscle. It takes some effort to do. So you will hear people talk about manifestation being hard and it doesn't work. It actually does work. There's a science to it. However, you've got to be patient. You have to develop patience, and you have to develop a new habit. Your habits are formed in your subconscious mind. And so if you start doing something over and over, like watching your thoughts, stopping the thoughts that are negative, planting good thoughts in its place, you start to build that muscle. You start to form the habit of success thinking, having a successful mindset. And no matter what it is that you're trying to accomplish in your life, a successful mindset is important. And it just takes building that muscle to become successful, to have that success mindset, doing the same thing over and over in a conscious way. So every day waking up and perhaps feeling grateful, having a gratitude practice. I feel grateful for all the good in my life. That gets the mind focused on all the things that are already working, all the things that are already good. And then continuing to catch yourself in negative thinking and do a thought stopping process where it's like, whoa, cancel, cancel, and say something positive over the top. I am successful. I do have what it takes. And really start to erase the negativity that you've been feeding your subconscious mind unconsciously. You start to become aware of the seeds you are planting. So, yes, this is a process. I know that a lot of people will talk about you can manifest this in 10 minutes. I don't feel that that is realistic. I feel that we have to be patient and give the process some time to work in our lives. I'm not saying something can't happen quickly. I've had lots of what I would almost call miracles that have happened in my life where there have been some pretty instantaneous experiences. One of them was that I was in the hospital and I was in my 20s and I started becoming more conscious early in life. So I was in my 20s and I was in the hospital with appendicitis, and they wanted to operate on me. And I had a hard time seeing the operation in my mind as successful. And so I would not sign the release to have them operate on me. And I just laid there on the gurney in the hospital and I started visualizing healing light around myself and seeing myself as healed. I was in the hospital most of the day under observation. They started taking my blood, every hour or so. And at some point, they were puzzled and they were saying, huh, odd. And I asked, well, what's going on? And they said, well, your numbers are going the opposite way. Your white count is going the opposite way of what it should be going under the condition that you would be getting sicker, that you would be getting more toxic, that you would be getting closer to your appendix bursting. So I was going towards the healing, and that was puzzling to them because they're not used to seeing this kind of thing. By the end of the day, they gave me an antibiotic and sent me home and said there is absolutely no sign of appendicitis. So this is something that happened, in my early life that shows that in one day I could completely take charge of that outcome through the process of visualization. So it worked quite quickly, but there was also a necessity for it to work quickly at that time. I was at risk, let's put it that way. And so either I was going to go into surgery, in which I could not see in my mind a successful surgery. It doesn't mean it wouldn't have been, but I couldn't see it. And that scared me. And so I chose to go another route, which was to heal myself instead of have surgery. Probably saved me a lot of money as well. So we can do things quickly, but we also need to develop that muscle and be patient because those quick manifestations may happen for people more frequently when they have that muscle already built. But if you're just starting out, give yourself the time to build that muscle. And don't worry so much about if you're doing it right because you're not seeing results right away. If you're working towards catching the negative thinking, the thoughts that you don't want to become seeds in the subconscious, just practice stopping it and turning it around by saying something positive. And it's really good to develop the belief in that positive thing. I believe that this can happen. I believe I can be successful. And so as you keep talking about it and you start to see signs of that success, that belief can grow stronger. At first, you may have some doubt, and you can still have doubt and manifest. Doubt doesn't take away all your ability to manifest. You just have to paint over the top of the doubt as well with positive imaginings. So you can say, well, I don't know if I can be successful manifesting. I'm kind of doubtful. And you can stop and turn it around and say, I can be successful. I do have what it takes. People are doing this every day successfully. Why can't I? I can be successful. So you start being your own cheerleader in a sense. You start watching your thoughts, your beliefs, even your feelings, because when you say negative things to yourself, it really affects you on an emotional level, and your vibration starts to go down into a darker place, into depression, into hopelessness, into despair. And those feelings aren't going to help you to get to where you want to go. So you really do want to work at turning those things around and start feeding hope and pictures of success and a belief that you really can have what you want. And you're going to do this through repetition, maybe through hypnosis, through thought stopping and affirmations, positive affirmations, which are just basically painting over the old thought, the negative thought, with a positive thought. And over time, you start to condition your mind to have those positive thoughts. And over time, you start to believe it. You start to believe that it is possible for you. And you start to see signs that it is working in your life. Now, some people will ask, how do I know that this is working, that I'm not just wasting my time? And I have a question for you if you're asking that question. How could focusing on becoming positive and believing in yourself and elevating yourself emotionally ever produce a bad result? That's going to take you to a better place in your life regardless. So it is working. You just have to continue to build that muscle and trust in the process, and also be absolutely clear about what it is that you want. Give a clear goal to your subconscious mind. If you're all over the map, it may not know what to provide for you. So if you want money, say how much money you want. I want to make $10,000 a month. I now make $10,000 a month, because you always want to, when you're manifesting, you always want to declare what it is that you're manifesting as if it's already here. When you say, I want to manifest $10,000 a month, you're pushing it out into the future always, because you always want. And when you say, I have, it is giving a picture to your subconscious mind that you already have this. You're already in the energy of it. You can already see it as manifest in your mind. And then it will become a reality so much quicker than if you were to say, I want, or I need, or I wish I had. You don't want to use those kinds of words. You want to use the present tense. I have my perfect relationship. I have my perfect body. I have $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month, or whatever it is that you are wishing to manifest. You state it as if it's already yours. So I hope this gives you an overview. I talk a lot more about manifestation in my other videos, so be sure to plug in and watch the other videos. And I also want to invite you to my Wealth Magnet Method course and community. And this is to help you to develop wealth on all levels. through a course that I've created and a community of people that are all like-minded and working towards the same thing. So by joining Conscious Creators course and community, where you can start on the Wealth Magnet Method course right away, then you're also putting yourself in an environment where you can practice manifestation with a group of people that are doing the same thing. So I will be sure to put a link in the description. I thank you so much for watching the video today. I see for you all of your dreams coming true, and I will see you in the next video.